Jacinta Cunahan and you're watching Coast Community News 5 at 5, October 16th. Starting off this week, Central Coast Council has been put under increasing pressure this week to come up with a recovery plan after the state government stated it will not bail council out. We spoke to the Parliamentary Secretary of the Central Coast, Adam Crouch, and Mayor Lisa Matthews about their respective views.
It's very frustrating for us as a state government. Here we've got a council effectively writing to the minister, asking her to give them approval to do something they're not allowed to do, which is access restricted funds. You know, we're not going to be cutting Central Coast Council the ability to basically access $100 million without any oversight. I mean, this just is ridiculous. The community's level of frustration, again, has reached boiling point with this lot. It's almost beyond words. It is so frustrating. When you had a council that was handed over after administration, $66 million in the black. You know, the community had such high hopes for them to deliver for everybody, and here we are, we see them failing again.
So from my office, since last Tuesday, I've penned 3 letters to the Minister. When the CEO, Mr Murphy, rang the Office of Local Government and the Minister's office and declared our situation, as we must as a regulatory process, we were given advice that we would be receiving some support from her office and from the Office of Local Government by way of a HR specialist and a financial specialist. To date, we haven't heard about those people. We don't understand their brief, and nor have we seen them.
To try and put this in perspective, we asked the region's only council reporter, Marilyn Vale, about some of her observations.
So the fact that its CEO was not present was not mentioned. There was no explanation as to why he was not there. It left the Director in charge of Water and Sewerage, Jamie Loader, in the position of acting CEO and acting CFO. It was probably best the CEO wasn't there, because there was a notice of motion about a vote of no confidence in him and to withdraw his delegatory spending powers. The other big thing that came up last night was the confidential item about staff matters. Now, we don't know what this was about. It went behind closed doors and was discussed behind closed doors. But the council has said enough on the record to let us know this is a big deal, whatever it is, that it's catastrophic, that it will change the council.
The proposed plan to build a gas industry off the Central Coast, Sydney and Newcastle coastline has reached a pivot point this week, with federal Liberal MP for the Northern Beaches, Jason Falansky, foreshadowing a motion to cancel the exploration permit PEP11 in federal parliament on Monday. Local Labor member for Dobell, Emma McBride, has stated under questioning from CCN that she will be supporting the motion to cancel the PEP11. Member for Robertson, Lucy Wicks, has not yet indicated whether she'll support her Liberal colleague's motion. Meanwhile, Parliamentary Secretary for the Central Coast, Adam Crouch, has also reaffirmed the state government's opposition to PEP11. Central Coast Council has previously unanimously passed motions to oppose PEP11. And the Treasurer, Josh Freitenberg, was in Terrigal this week. Let's go to David to see what he had to say.
Thanks, JC. The Treasurer was joined by MP Lucy Wicks and local business Terrigal Electric to talk up the recent federal budget, and in particular the apprenticeship and youth employment support packages in the budget. But he gave little reassurance on local concerns raised about social housing shortfalls and a lack of employer incentives to hire workers aged over 35. This is some of what Josh had to say.
Ryan, it's terrific to see your business in action and to see Chloe and Mitch, 2 young apprentices who are putting their skills to work on sites such as these, and to hear your story about how JobKeeper helped build that bridge for you and your employees to the other side of COVID-19. To hear how you have used that instant asset write-off to purchase a new van, which is exactly what we want to see. More economic activity, more jobs, more investment in your own business and in its very, very bright future. And to hear how you are using the measures that the government announced for apprentices is really welcome as well.
And the rollout of the new intercity fleet on the Central Coast Rail network became a little closer with the delivery of the first train in the fleet at the newly opened Kangy Angy rail maintenance facility. Parliamentary Secretary for the Central Coast, Adam Crouch, said the train's arrival was part of the testing phase of the new intercity fleet, bringing the rollout of the 55 10-car trains to the Central Coast line one step closer. And a critical incident investigation has been launched following the death of a man during a confrontation with police on the Central Coast yesterday. Officers from the Tuggerah Lakes Police District attended Minnesota Road at Hamlin Terrace shortly after 9 a.m. after a stolen vehicle was tracked to the location following an earlier pursuit. Shots were fired during a confrontation and the man died at the scene. He's yet to be formally identified. An update from the New South Wales Police earlier today stated a police operation is continuing to try and find the second man believed to have left the scene. And in fresh news, the Warnervale Airport Restrictions Act, the WAR Act, has been rolled back in the State Legislative Assembly last night, paving the way for a renewal of the regional airport. We'll cover the story in full next week. Now let's go to Hayley for this week's lead sports stories.
Thanks, David. The Central Coast Mariners Academy has completed a clean sweep of the New South Wales NPL2 senior competition, adding the first grade and the under-20s championships to the premiership. After claiming their premiership with a week to spare in the regular season, the Mariners under-20s played in the grand final over the weekend against Hakoah Sydney City East, with a 3-goal first half paving the way for a 5-1 win. First grade Mariners also played against the Northern Tigers with 4 goals scored in extra time through braces to Matt Hatch and Harry McCarthy to seal the win. And the Central Coast Rugby Union competition has come to an exciting conclusion over the weekend with 5 new premiers being crowned on grand final day. In the Premier 1, Terrigal made it back-to-back titles after beating the Lakes 31-28. Going almost point for point from start to finish, Central Coast Rugby Union President Larry Thompson said the Premier 1 Grand Final was a thrilling end to the season.
There he gets it.
Oh, yes! Calabria's through! They won't stop him, he needs to be careful of that hamstring.
Brilliant stuff by Terrigal.
He has just snuck it in.
Dylan Calabria. Well, Lakes had everything going for him there.
And in the Premier 2, the Lakes again went down against Terrigal by a very narrow margin, 23-22. But it wasn't all bad for the Lakes, with the Maroons beating Avoca Beach 23-14, claiming the under-19s premiership. The President's Cup was won by Avoca Beach, who defeated Terrigal by 22-21, and the Women's 10s was won by Terrigal, defeating Avoca Beach 22-17. And now let's have a look at the weather. It seems like it's going to be a cloudy one this weekend, with areas of fog on Saturday morning and a 50% chance of showers in the evening. There will be a max of 27 with north to northeasterly winds reaching 20 to 30 kilometres in the middle of the day. And get out your umbrellas because Sunday has a very high 90% chance of rain and a chance of a thunderstorm in the morning and afternoon. Max of 23 with light southerly winds reaching 15 to 25 kilometres an hour. Back to you, JC.
Members of Australian Seabird Rescue were jumping for joy recently as they released 2 green turtles into the sea after they'd been cared for on the Central Coast for some months. Central Coast Coordinator Kathy Gilmore said because of the organisation's name, many people didn't realise it cared not just for birds but also for marine mammals including turtles and sea snakes. The 2 turtles, Ella and Billy, had been in care for 6 and 4 months respectively. All these stories and thousands more are available on our news website, and remember to pick up a copy of this week's Coast Community News issue 264 and Coast Community Chronicle 210. Be sure to subscribe to our socials, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter and Facebook page for updates during the week. We leave you today with internationally renowned musical director Andrew Warboys, who has used his time of COVID-19 cancellations to connect with local talent and experimenting with new business models for the entertainment industry. Thanks so much for having us and see you next week.
Tonight we've got Eleanor Rockaborough and the Isolationists, and we're actually sold out. But tomorrow night is Pippa Grandison and the Isolationists, and there are still tickets available. Only 45 people are allowed to come to this concert, and we're all sitting on the stage together. It's actually really quite special. The audience arrives through the stage door. They come in through backstage. There's a pop-up bar, and then they're escorted by their by the COVID officer onto stage to their seats where they stay, and it's live music. When we opened the Art House last week with Greg Gould, he's still really popular. In any case, everybody was so grateful. There was something on, something to see. Audiences are crying out to see live entertainment, and it's coming back. It's coming back. It'll be a little different.
And we gon' ride the boogie.